In our relationships in life, the truism is that the more we are invested in a particular individual, the more love that we have and that we feel for that person, the greater is the disappointment and the greater is the pain that we experience when that person has fallen short of the mark of expectation. And this is borne out from the scenario in which Moshe Rabbeinu, having descended from Har Sinai, witnessing the creation of the golden calf and the people dancing around it as HaKadosh Baruch Hu has forewarned him of, he turns to the people at large and he says, Mil Hashem Elai, whomever is pledged to God, let them come running to me. And of course, his own Shevet, his own tribe of Levi responds, but Yomer Lahem, and he instructs them clearly, Kama Amar Adonai Elohei Yisrael, thus says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the God of Israel, stated, Simu ish karba al yerecho, let each man place his sword by his thigh, Ivru v'shuvu, and let them run throughout the camp, mishar l'shar, gate to gate, v'hirgu ish es ochiv, and let each man kill his brother, v'ish es re'ehu, and his friend, v'ehu, and every man his relative. And Esa Or HaChaim HaKadosh, he says, wait, I don't understand. If the Bnei Levi were being called upon to even, lo aleinu, to kill their brothers if they engage in avodah zarah, I mean, what's closer than a brother? Then understandably, the Ish Yisrayehu would have been simpler to kill a person who was not a brother, not a member of one's family, but rather one's friend. The Ish Krovo, and every man is relative. Well, every relative is certainly at a lesser standard than a brother and should require less mesiras nefesh, less loyalty to the Almighty in carrying out the command of standing up on behalf of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Or HaChaim HaKadosh explains something that I believe all of us know, certainly those of us who grew up out of town, when we didn't have relatives, and it was a very small and tight-knit from community. And we know, the Or HaChaim HaKadosh says, that there are two different kinds of relationships that people automatically, generally experience. We have the relationship of a kurva, of a closeness of nefashos, a closeness of shoroshim, a closeness of two individuals who feel as if they've somewhat been cut from the same cloth, and they share so much in common, and they think alike, and they end up as best friends. And then there are people, of course, who have the kurva of holada, of birth, born into the same family, the relationship of blood, literally sharing the same DNA. At times in life, explains the Or HaChaim HaKadosh, we know that there are people who are related to each other. They could be siblings, but they have, unfortunately, little in common. And yet there are people who have no relationship whatsoever one to the other biologically, and yet are closer than siblings. Says the Or HaChaim HaKadosh, Moshe Rabbeinu turned to the Bnei Levi and he said, pick up your swords, run throughout the camps, and be ready to kill a brother from a mother, because none of the Levium sin. Be ready to kill even a brother, or even a person who is not a brother, but whom may have been closer in relationship than a brother, than a sibling. And the highest level is the Ishes Krovo, a friend who was not biologically related, but who was so close to the member of the tribe of Levi that he was considered to be a relative, a brother, as it were. And some of us grew up out of town where we had uncles and aunts that were neither brothers nor sisters to our fathers and mothers. But they were the fruit people in town, and we were friends with their children. And we called them Aunt Aviva, Uncle Yitz, Uncle Penny, Aunt Sarah. And they were closer to my parents than even their siblings because of all the years we spent together, sharing simchas, sharing travails, sharing what it meant to grow up in a small and wonderful community that was growing in its frumkeit. In life, it was once said that one can never choose one's family, but one can choose one's friends. And if unfortunately, those friends fall short in our expectations, then the pain is that much more searing. So in life, we can choose our family. We can choose our friends. And when we do so, choose wisely. Have a wonderful Shabbos.